cooperating teacher, I would avoid text, but how many of your teachers are texting with you, just out of curiosity? Some of them? So this might be a bit of a age shift in who you're working with too. We might see that there's more texting going on, but I'm assuming that they started or they initiated the texting, that you didn't just text, hey, I'm gonna be observing your class. So, action items. Make sure you have a voicemail greeting on your phone in case somebody calls you. So a lot of people just use the electronic. You've reached 414-412-3226. Do something professional. You know, hi, I'm Bethany. You know, you don't need to say I'm Bethany. They'll know that they're calling you. Hi, this is Bethany. I'm unavailable at the current moment. Please leave me a message. They'll return your call as soon as I'm able. You want to be thinking about this. I know it's down the road, but when you're applying for jobs, for internships, when hiring employers are going to contact you, they may call. They're not going to text you about a job opportunity. They might email you with more details, but they're probably going to call at some point, and they want to know that if they want to hire Nicole, that when they call that number, it is Nicole's phone. So make sure that that's personalized and professional, and then I would just recommend getting in the habit of checking your voicemail. I do mostly text, so sometimes I don't check my voicemail for like a week, or I see, oh, it's like, oh, I missed Aaron's call, listen to the voicemail later. Again, employers who want to hire you are going to be leaving you voicemails, so make sure you listen. Easy, right? All right, finally, some professional communication tips via email. Email, it's different from a text, so you want to be more formal. It's the main mode of business communication. As an aside, keep in mind that your cooperating teacher is teaching most of the day, so they're not going to be necessarily able to check their email all during the day and respond immediately. So don't freak out if you don't hear from them, you know, within the same minute. You should still start an email with a salutation, you know, dear Mrs. Richardson, dear Mr. Smith, hi Mr. Smith, okay? End the message with a closing, you know, best wishes, sincerely. Avoid abbreviations kind of used in texting, you know, informal language. I thought I heard someone say over here about communication, don't talk to people like you're talking with your friends. You want to be more formal, okay? And then proofread. One of my classic professionalism mess-ups is I try to crank out a bunch of emails, and I spell check it, and I check the grammar, but my mind's going so fast that I leave out a couple words. And usually the person can figure it out, but it doesn't always reflect the best on me. So make sure you proofread so that you know that there's not a grammatical error, not just a spelling error. Check your spelling, and then also check to make sure you're not missing any words. Craft an appropriate subject line so the person knows what the email is going to be about. Some action items. If you haven't already created a signature for your own emails, I recommend doing that. This is a good time. Who has one already? Anybody want to share what you have on yours?
I just have like my credentials, like my Marquette University, and then I have the 2018. Basically, I have my major, my minor, but I don't know if I have a college on there. I have where I work,
Okay.
what my position is.
Yeah. All those things are great. Yep. Your name, graduation year, college of education, or your majors. If you hold a leadership position in an organization, or you have a job on campus, you can list that too. So it's just nice, crisp, and to the point. All right. So we're going to talk about a little bit more about proactive strategies for your professionalism, which will hopefully move us a little bit away from maybe what you already know and get you thinking more towards the future. Your job search, whether you believe it or not, starts now. So many jobs are the result of networking. With the way education applications work, typically they have to be posted. But if a school gets 200 applicants for one position, and it happens, wouldn't it be great if somebody was already looking for your application so that you got moved from the, oh, well, think about it, to the, oh, Sarah's applying for this job and she did her field experience and she was so professional and she's kept in touch with me, so we've got to consider her as a candidate. It happens. My husband's a principal. You guys don't have Miss Cinto, do you, for a teacher? Does anybody have her? She's a doctoral student here at Marquette. She teaches this class occasionally. She is also she was undergrad here. She graduated in December when there aren't a lot of teaching positions, and she got her job because the principal she worked for was so impressed that he put his name on the line and reached out to pretty much everybody he knew and said, we've got this great student teacher, we don't have an opening, who's hiring? She ended up getting a job at one of the most difficult times of year to get hired. Those are the kinds of things that help, that you can start on now. All right, I get on a soapbox on these things, okay? All right, the point of the Maggie story, the Miss Cinto story, is that who you know is just as important as what you know, okay? So knowing somebody who's hiring, whether it's the principal or the teacher, or somebody who's willing to say, I know Adam, you should hire him. I know Adam, you should really consider bringing him in for an interview. It makes a huge difference, especially when there's a lot of other applicants. So how can you do this? Get to know your cooperating teacher. If you have a chance, like, find out if they love the Packers, find out if they love the Bears, find out if they just heard that the Brewers are going to be terrible like I did and they're feeling sick inside, or find out if they have kids and ask how their kids are, or learn something about them on a personal level. And introduce yourself to the principal and staff members if you can. You know, stand up, act like you want to be there, smile, look at it as an opportunity, right? Not something you have to do, an opportunity building towards your future. And then at the end of the semester, just take some time to write people some thank you notes. You know, they don't have to bring you into their school and let you observe. Make a good impression, tell them what you've learned. If you have a connection with somebody, keep in touch. You know, hey, I just want to give you an update. Tell them next semester, I just completed an internship at, you know, X school here in town. I used X that I learned from you. Thanks for being a good mentor to me. You know, keep in touch. Relationships are important. So a couple action items. Do you guys know what an elevator pitch is? You want to take a stab at telling a little bit about what it is?
It's like a little blurb that you can say about, like, depends what you're trying to pitch. Like, it can
Yeah.
be just about yourself within, like, a minute.
Exactly.
It's be really quick and concise.
Yeah, so basically think about when you're introduced to someone, like if you haven't met the principal at the school already, what would you say? You know, if it's for a field experience elevator pitch, you know, 30 seconds is probably fine. You know, I'm a Marquette student, you know, a sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thanks so much for having me here. Hey, do you think we could connect? Could I talk to you a little more about what it's like to be at your school? Ask to have a meeting with the principal, an informational meeting. That's a good way to show initiative and confidence and impress them. And then, again, another action item, write thank you notes at the end of the placement. So your elevator pitch is going to change, again, based on the scenario, but it's just a 30 to 60 second blurb. The idea is that if you were riding on the elevator with somebody, that's all the time you would have to kind of sell yourself. If you think about a couple points in advance, it makes it easier and more professional. All right, so building relationships. I kind of talked about this earlier, but I really encourage you to acquire career-related experience as much as you can. So being a nanny, babysitting, being a lifeguard, being a waitress, being a waiter, you're going to get valuable experiences from those things. You're going to get transferable skills. But if you're hoping to set yourself apart from all the other applicants, I really encourage you to go a little bit deeper to try and get some career-related experience in teaching. Marquette already sets you up in a good place in having the Hartman Center and having 3 field experiences. Not all colleges have that. But getting additional experiences helps set you apart from the competition. I want you guys to not need to come to my office when you graduate because you all already have jobs. And preparing now and thinking about, okay, what am I going to do this summer? What am I going to do next summer to help me stand out is a way to do that. So there's still lots of opportunities for this summer that are posted on MU Career Manager. You're going to have my email. If I can help you learn how to navigate that, if I can help you with an internship search, any of those things, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm like the designated person in contact for the College of Ed. I'm a graduate of the graduate school here in the College of Ed. I love working with education students and I don't get to see a lot of you. So please let me know if I can help. So I highly encourage you to activate your MU Career Manager account. You just go to our website, marquette.edu/CSC. There's a box on there that says MU Career Manager. And that, again, is the place with those postings. Right now, there's over 2,000 full-time jobs and internships, many summer part-time and internship work related to what you might want to be doing. And of course, you need to have references when you get hired, and this can lead to great references. All right. The last thing I'd really like to challenge you to do is to take a little bit of time to reflect. Now, I know that you have somewhat of forced reflection through this class, right? And you'll have to complete your assignments, but think about what type of school you're in, the environment, what did you like, what did you not like? So you can use it as a way to kind of define your path. Where would you like to work? Do you want to work in an urban setting, suburban, rural? Do you like private, charter, public schools, etc.? I also encourage you to reflect on the outcomes of your personal actions that are maybe outside of your classroom experiences and your field experience. As we talked about with BP, the oil spill didn't happen because someone had one major mistake. It was a bunch of small mistakes along the way. And some things that you might want to reflect on and how that might be conveying your brand, and as teachers, as I mentioned before, you're kind of held to a higher standard. Think about your social media use. Every year I track down where College of Ed grads are, where they get placed, where are they hired. And a couple years ago I was looking for one student that we didn't have a response on the survey to, and the only thing that came up when I was Googling her was her Twitter account with a picture of her and a huge picture of margaritas. I don't care if you drink legally, okay? But if I was looking to hire a kindergarten teacher, and the very first thing I saw when I Googled you was a picture of margaritas, that kind of puts you on the let's not call her for an interview list. So I think you guys hear this growing up. I'm old. I didn't grow up with Facebook. Didn't even exist when I was in college. So you probably heard this. But just again, Google yourself, see what's out there. Make sure the image that you're portraying to the world is the image that you want portrayed to the world. Be aware of if you have any violations of the law. When it comes time to apply for things, you need to be honest about it. I'm thinking things like it usually specifies what you need to reveal. But typically, they'll do a background check and find things out. So if you're not honest and it's just a small offense, they wouldn't consider you for a position. And then I'd also encourage you to consider your behavior in public. As I mentioned before, I'm married to a principal. We like to go to Marquette games. And on more than one occasion, we've seen some inebriated students there. There are people who could be hiring you. Your cooperating teachers could be there. Just be aware that when you're in public and how you're behaving, people might be viewing that. Again, as teachers and educators, you're kind of held to a standard that's different. It would be a shame if you took advantage of everything and all of these tips to build a good professional brand, and then somebody saw you throwing up in the toilet at the Bradley Center who was a hiring principal. This is the part where I start to feel like your mom in the presentation. I just know you guys are all bright, and just to be aware, reflect on your personal actions. So your action items in terms of reflection are just thinking, okay, what image do I want to project at my placement, kind of throughout my career as an educator, and where are the gaps? What can I do to help further that image? Create that professional image that I'm going for. And then just Google yourself, see what comes up. In addition to making sure that it's nothing that you don't want to come up, whether it's negative or not, I personally just like to have some privacy. You might want to create stuff. On the other hand, I've Googled people and great things have come up about how they've been involved in service projects, how they were teaching in schools. That's a way to use social media to your advantage to help your brand. And you can read all sorts of stuff about that online too. Any questions? I'm talking a lot. You're very attentive. Okay. So this slide just includes all the action items from the slides before it, so you have it all in one place. I hope that everybody, a couple of them resonated with you. You've got some ideas for preparing for the future and creating an image of professionalism that fits who you are for your future. And there's space to add some of your own. The idea is, your reputation precedes you. Don't let your reputation go belly up. Do the things now to create the reputation that you want, the brand that you want. And just to revisit our learning outcomes, who remembers how to make an appointment in the Career Services Center? I probably didn't emphasize it enough, but I'll take guesses if you How might you think?
From 12 to 2, you can just go in.
From 12 to 2, you don't need an appointment. Yeah, you can do drop-in hours for resumes and stuff. Yeah.
You can call the office.
You can call our office. Yeah, I know. Amazing, right? And we also have an online scheduling system. So if you go to MU Career Manager, again, that place with all the jobs, there's also a function for scheduling online. So if you know, realize you need a resume at 11 p.m. and need to set up an appointment, or you know, can't figure out what your second major is and you're worrying about it and our office isn't open, you can go on there and schedule an appointment. Excellent. Any thoughts on the importance of professional behavior? One or two comments? Why is being professional important in an educational and really all settings?
Because I guess it just sort of, it sort of helps you exude the confidence and authority, especially when it comes to being a teacher.
Yep.
Like especially like maybe for the secondary majors, you don't want to go in looking like a high schooler.
Exactly.
And for primary education majors, you don't want to go in like looking like you just got up out of bed. as
Yeah.
my mom would say. Like you want to present yourself and you want to put your best foot forward, your best face forward, your best look forward, and look your best in every aspect of the phrase.
Yep.
Both on the outside and on the inside.
Yeah, I'm here, you want to communicate, I'm here because I want to be here, I'm going to learn something from being here, and I already view myself as a teacher and I'm going to take this opportunity to the fullest. And it will, taking that attitude will help you in a couple of years. Thank you. And then, anybody want to share, like, was there anything that you took away that you need to do? Like an email signature, or what action items resonated with you?
Yeah, email signature and
Okay.
voicemail.
The voicemail? Yeah.
I mean, my voicemail is pretty good, but like email signatures, I was talking about that with my friends the other day, like about how only my RA has an email signature whenever she sends me emails, and my professors, I send pretty kind of formal emails to my professors, but I don't have a signature. My professors reply back, they don't have a signature, so we're just sort of discussing as to whether we need to have a signature or not.
Yeah. I would, like when you initiate an email, I totally would. There would be differing opinions on a reply. You know, for replies of emails, you don't even necessarily need to be quite as formal. You don't have to say dear. You can just kind of pick up. But when it comes to professionalism, I generally try to just err. If you don't know, err on the side of being more conservative or formal or polite. Was there one other hand up over here? Well, I hope this provided some helpful tips. You knew a lot of this already. Hopefully this gave you some ideas of how you can take advantage of this opportunity to help you in the future. And then just know that my email is right here. Feel free to email me, even if it's 2 years down the road. I'm here to help. And I appreciate your attention. You check this off your list. Who's going to get dinner?
At night.
Have a great night. Thank you guys for coming. I'll stick around if anybody has specific questions.
I mean, it was actually better left over. Because then I did it right. Chicken, whole beans, corn, salad, stuff. I snapped dinner on Saturday, so I have to be there for
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
I'm running for the executive vice president of the House, and that's kind of more important to me than a zero credit choir. Not to realize that, but we'll have fun at choir.
Oh yeah, I'll have a great time.
Oh yeah.
Always.
I like it and I enjoy being in that room, but it's just,
We didn't do this thing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Really people do this now.
I would say that's not, yeah. One that always comes to my mind is the zoo. I don't know if you've heard about that. I can send you a couple things that come to mind, but you can also go on a new group manager. What's your name again? The zoo has a lot of summer educational opportunities, and it's slightly different from like, they're running kind of like camps, but they are very developmental, and if they're specifically looking for people with instruction and they specifically target education majors. There's a couple places in town, the Center for Urban Teaching, that look at bringing people on for their summer schools. So there's definitely an opportunity. And you know, no matter what you do, there's going to be transferable skills. The idea is like do something, you know, in addition to if you babysat or were a waitress or, you know, worked a sales position, like what's going to make you unique and kind of challenge you and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to get a summer job, I also want to like do the benefits.
Yeah, you got to do it anyway,
Yeah.
you know.
But then I like feel, I don't know, I just always felt like there was never any opportunities for education majors because it's like, you know, you're a teacher. And
Yeah.
like there's student teaching and stuff, but you can't really do that during the summer part-time.
Yep.
So I was, and then like tutoring, you don't really necessarily get paid for it at all. Like
Yeah.
it's like a lot of them are more volunteer
Yep.
based. So yeah, but yeah, email me
Yep.
information because I'm definitely
And
interested.
then if you, I would also look at MU Career Manager, and if you're having problems finding something, you know, come in to drop in hours or come make an appointment with me, and I'll see if like we can tweak your kind of search.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, the other place to look before I forget is Callie sends out a weekly email to everyone in the College of Ed. At the very bottom, she sometimes posts job
Job.
opportunities. So, all right, yeah. Thank you for your question.
Thanks.
Thanks for your information. Oh, no, go ahead.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, two quick things.
Okay.
So, is this an okay signature? This is what I've had going on. This one here.
Yes.
And it looks different on a computer, but I think this is the way it comes through.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, simple is better because phones make it look weird.
Right, okay, and then also, so I'm secondary ed in psychology for my two majors, and then minoring in broadcasting studies and
Okay.
music. I do wanna go to grad school,
Yeah.
because I wanna get my PhD in
Okay.
a certain type of psychology and stuff. What can you can just teach with that, right? I mean, like, I'm looking to teach for like a few years, but just to kind of get like my, like, self in the door. And then I
So
wanna,
when
like,
you say teach with the PhD, like at a college level,
I
or?
might want, well, I'm gonna start teaching in high school first.
Okay, so
and then,
go to grad school.
right, yeah.
So what's your question?
My question, no, it's okay, so like, once I get my PhD and stuff, I can
Yeah.
just teach in like higher ed and do things with it that way, correct?
That would be one possible career path, like depending what type of psychology it is, there might be clinical work. You know, in higher ed, there's gonna be teaching institutions where your workload is primarily teaching and less focused on research, and then there's like UW-Madison, that's a research institution,
Okay.
that there's a lot of focus on the research that you do. You know, are you involved in undergraduate research in psych yet?
Not yet, no.
Do you know where that stuff is located, like those resources?
Kramer, yeah.
Do you know where the research opportunities are on their website? Go to the psych webpage, department webpage, and look there. And certainly, if you're not finding it, come in and make an appointment. But they actually post opportunities in labs. And to get into grad school, what type of specific type were you from?
I'm looking at performance psychology.
Okay.
Like,
Usually,
with developmental, I
Okay.
guess, to a certain extent.
usually you have to have some research experience in undergrad in order to get in.
Okay.
And the psych department does a good job of providing those opportunities for students, and they're listed on their webpage. There's also the McNair Scholars Program.
I'm applying for that next
Okay,
year.
good,
Yep.
that's on your
I'm
radar.
at EOP, so I
Okay, yeah,
have that.
good, I'm glad that that's on your radar, because that's an excellent research opportunity, and that
Right.
even probably has more mentoring aspects than if you were working in a lab alone.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah, but we could always talk about other options of where that could put you, because I hate to say it's just X, Y, and Z, because
Right. It's
you know,
not,
people do all sorts of things.
I know.
So,
Thank you.
thank you guys, thanks for your attention.
Yeah.
It's one of those necessary evils, you kind of gotta know some of this stuff.
No worries, thank you so much.
So I'm a secondary
Yeah.
biology major. I work in a daycare. In the summer, or like for
Yeah.
Is that obviously daycare in high school vastly different?
They are.
But would it be better than like being a waitress? Kind of
Yeah.
thing? Because
Yeah.
I'm working with
Yes.
that kind of.
Yeah, and I hope I wasn't too negative about those things. Because there could be, like, you can also have leadership experiences that help differentiate yourself.
Yeah.
People, for your resume, for teaching, you're gonna have your student teaching first, your field experiences, and then related experience. In daycare, and working with kids and teaching, which a lot goes on in daycare in terms of that, is totally applicable.
Okay. Yeah, because just because like other people have been saying, going into education, like there's not, like, at least I didn't know before, internships, like I could go get a business internship. Or
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So like I don't.
You know,
wasn't really sure.
so do you think, this seems like a pretty common thought in
Yeah.
your peers' head. So I'm wondering, I'm thinking from my job's perspective that there's probably a gap or an opportunity where our office can work with Dr. Whip or Callie to help kind of bring your attention to some of the things that might be available a little bit more. Most people, I'm trying to think, you know, a lot of people don't have internships when they apply. And that's totally fine.
Okay. So like, I mean, like the other thing I do here, but I was also thinking of applying somewhere closer to home, is going to like Pullman or Sylvan,
Yep.
like those kind of
Yes.
places. That's another thing.
Those are totally relatable. And those are a little different than babysitting. And babysitting can be very developmental too if you're intentional about it and being a nanny. So it's not only, I guess, what you have, but what you kind of make of it and then what skills that you're selling. And,
Okay.
you know, if you're a tutor, you might work with a lot of different people. Other things like there's writing tutors on campus, there's lots of tutoring gigs.
Yeah.
Those are all
one
related.
of the things that-
Yeah. I feel like we met in an
Yeah.
appointment.
Yeah, over, I think it was first or second semester last year.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to go into education or health sciences.
Okay.
And I
Hopefully it
decided
was
education.
helpful. Hopefully
Yeah.
you're doing well.
Yeah,
I was like, I know I've
It
met
was
her.
very helpful.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I came in here and I'm like, I've seen your face before. I don't know.
Well, I know
Figure
that
it
too,
out.
and I don't like to call people out on appointments because it's, you know, some
Yeah.
people want privacy.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad because it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't like figure it out at first,